Hey guys, welcome to W&L Review. Today we are reviewing two movies, Beetlejuice and Prom Night. I'll let my daughter start off.
Okay, so, Beetlejuice. If you guys have never seen it, then let me explain. So,
Dun, dun, dun.
the movie starts off with this couple, and they had been living in this home for a while, and they go to the grocery store. They don't make it back alive. They pass away
Top it.
unknowingly to them. To them, they just show back up in their house. And they're like, hey, how did we get here? And they're like, oh, we must have been basically like driving on autopilot. Until they realize, some things are a little bit different. And they see this book, and it says, The Handbook for the Recently Deceased. They have passed. And a while passes, I think about a year passes, and then a new family moves into the home. And they're still in the home, this couple. And the new family is like, oh, let's tear down this wall, let's remodel, let's redesign everything. And they don't like that. So they try and scare these people. But what they don't realize, or it takes them a little while to realize, is that these people cannot see them well. Actually, their daughter can see these ghosts. And so eventually, they're like, oh, well, we still can't get rid of these people. And there's this guy, Beetlejuice. And he has this ad that he can get rid of humans, of like the living, out of your home for the dead. And they're like, he's our only option. And to make him come, you have to say his name 3 times. And so they do, and then they realize he's a complete creep. He's a creeper. And they change their mind. They end up getting an appointment with like this person who is like affairs of people who are like dead or whatever. And they're like, oh, by the way, you only get 1 consultation with us. And she's like, have you even read the handbook? And they're like, yeah. And she knows that they haven't, because otherwise they would already know, oh, okay, this is like how to haunt 101 kind of thing. And so they used up their 1 consultation, only to be told, read the book. And so they go back, and Beetlejuice is still like stalking them pretty much. And I remind you, this person that was consulting them said, do not call Beetlejuice. He's a complete fraud. Well, as you know, they already did. But it goes on, and some shenanigans go on, and basically they learn to live with the living. Sorry, our dog's being a little weird. And everything ends up being okay. But I know I loved the movie. It was morbid, but it was also really funny. I just thought it was a hoot. But with that being said, I'll let my mom tell you what she thought.
Beetlejuice, the 1988 version we're talking about here, is a really good movie. And yes, it is a little twisted. Of course, it is a Tim Burton film, so, we know Tim Burton, so we know that he's a little
Strange.
bit of a twisted guy, but that's okay, because, he's made some good movies, and
He has.
and anyway, it is twisted, it is silly, it is morbid, whatever you want to say, but it is comical, and the fact that one of my favorite parts is the dinner scene where they're at the they're at the dinner table and you know, come Mr. Tallyman, tell me banana. And I come and me wanna go home. I love that part. That's one of my favorite parts of the whole movie. And you know, the visuals are great. The special effects are great. For an older movie, it still has a lot of greatness to it, especially considering that it's now 2021. Considering it's that old of a movie, and sorry, our puppy is making noises over here. I don't know. He's whining. I don't know why. Why are you whining? Anyway, maybe he's just trying to tell you his point of view on his take of the movie. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it is definitely a different take, and if you haven't seen it, just give it a shot. It is a little twisted, but it's all done in lightness and fun and silliness, and to enjoy things, you know, not to take things too seriously. And with that, we will talk to you about our next movie, Prom Night.
Okay, so Prom Night, the 2008 version, takes place in, gee, who would have guessed it? 2008. Oh wait, no, actually, 2004. Actually, no?
I checked it out.
Oh, all right.
2008.
No, I'm talking about the when in the movie it takes place.
Oh, I don't know.
I believe 2004. Nevertheless, it's Prom Night. Who would have guessed it?
Axel, stop it.
Sorry, our dogs are wanting to play. But,
Stop.
But it takes place and their prom is at like a hotel. And one of these girls, she had an experience where this murderer murdered her family. And it just
you gotta give a little backstory to it.
Well, then I'll have to have you explain the backstory because I can't remember.
Prom Night starts off, and it starts off at the beginning of the movie, and it goes to this girl who had her whole family murdered, and then you fast forward 4 years later, and it's Prom Night, and I want to emphasize this has nothing to do with the Jamie Lee Curtis movie that is named by the same name or the franchises thereof. This is not even, no, 9 Inch Trainin'. It's not the same movie. This is a different movie. I thought the same thing. This is Prom Night. This guy was her teacher. He had become infatuated with this girl and started stalking her, and that's why her family put a restraining order on him, and he lost his job, and so he had this weird idea that she had a crush on him, or she liked him, or whatever, just because she was friendly to him when she came to class. Anyways, he murders her whole family, her immediate family, and then 4 years later, in the meantime, she's moved in with her aunt and uncle, and 4 years she's gotten on with somewhat with her life. She's in counseling, and this is her senior prom, and she's gonna go to prom and everything, and except that things don't quite go as planned. Now, do you want to pick up where I left off?
Yes. Basically, the murderer, he was put in jail. However, it just so happens that he was able to escape right around her prom. And so, she is at this prom, which, like I said earlier, was at, like, this hotel. Like, this really nice hotel. And, some of her friends all pitched in and had a room upstairs. And so did other friend groups and stuff. And this guy found out or knew somehow where this prom was going to be held, and he went there. And he was murdering people. Mostly people that were going into the room that this girl, who he had murdered her entire family, were also in. Like, they'd go up to, freshen up, and he'd be there waiting. He was waiting specifically for this girl, of course. And it goes on, and her friends keep on just, like, minimizing how many are downstairs at the dance and how many are, well, we know how many are alive. She doesn't know that. She just thinks, they're still up in the room, or they're probably talking to some other group of people. Well, they're not. And it ends up that they find out the police had been there, but this guy was able to sneak past them because in jail he had like a beard and stuff. And before he went to this hotel, he shaved it all off and all. So he was basically unrecognizable to the police from what they had last seen. And of course, they're not expecting someone without a beard. They're not thinking, he's going to have access to something to trim a beard. So he's able to slip past the police who were at the prom because they found out that he had gotten out. And they knew that this girl was going to be at the prom, and they knew he was after her. So they wanted to make sure they had their bases covered. However, of course they didn't, because he decided to change up his look. But eventually, they know for sure he's there, and the police trip the fire alarm to get everyone out of the building ASAP. But, they keep on wondering, okay, everyone's out except the girls that we really want to be out. Because she had decided, well, I gotta go back up to the room to get said friend who she thinks is still up in that room. And I think she has a run-in with the murderer. No?
No, not then. She ends up, her and her boyfriend end up going to her aunt's house. And, he says, I'll stay here, make sure you're okay and all this stuff. And in the meantime, there's a cop sitting outside her house, waiting, watching the house and everything. Well, this guy, how? But anyway, he manages to sneak up on the cop and kill him, and snuck into the house and killed the boyfriend while the girl was in the bathroom. And then this was the run-in, and she, managed to, just in the nicky of time, the main cop who known about this guy comes in the door, and they shoots the bad guy, and good guys win. Yeah. So it is definitely a bloody movie, so I would not say to watch this with younger children. I would say this is more teenager kind of movie.
Definitely.
Kind of thing. It is PG-13, which surprised me, considering there was so much violence that it was that rating. Not only that, but there is some implied things like nothing actually happens. There's no sex scenes or anything, but there's some implied, near close to, might look like it's going to happen, but nothing happens. Trust me. And is, I think, some minor language. I don't recall like there are any. I don't recall like any F-bombs or anything like that. There might be like the SH word or something like that, but nothing over the top. Um, uh, I don't know what else to say other than I would say give it a shot if you like. If you're a fan of scary kind of Halloweenish kind of movies, this is not a Halloween movie, but I would say it kind of qualifies because it's a scare your pants off. It kind of reminds me of sort of like Scream. So if you like Scream, you probably will like this. Um, I don't know. You have anything else you want to say?
No.
No. Well, anyways, guys, if you liked what we had to say, please give us a like, comment, and please comment because that helps our channel not drown in the YouTube hole that is known as YouTube, and then so comment something, say you like the movies, didn't like the movies, or that you haven't seen them and you're gonna watch them, or whatever. You can give us suggestions to movies if you'd like, or TV shows, and we will try our best to watch them. I know that Marion had suggested a couple of times a few movies, and unfortunately we didn't have those channels to be able to watch those movies. But if anybody has any suggestions of TV shows and movies, please leave that in the comments. If you have any TV show or movie buffs that you know in your family or in your life, pass on our channel to them and let them know about us.
Yeah.
And with that,
Huge shout out to Marion, also known here on YouTube as
Life
Life
Unboxed.
Unboxed. Thank you for joining our Patreon. If you guys are interested, the link is in the description box.
And with that, we will say see you next week. But before I say that, before I close, I will say subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell. I don't know what this is, but hit the notification bell, hit the like button, and I don't know what else to say other than we'll see you next time.